Hello everyone and welcome to another video of Vivek Learns. In the last video that we had done of PepCoding Recursion, we had solved, we had not solved, but we had revised this question, all indices in an array. So we were revising this recursion module and we had started revising with the sprint decreasing question, and we had revised all the questions that we had solved until now, till this all indices in an array. And we had seen how we can solve these different questions using different approaches or variations also. So in this video, let's continue the series, and the next module that we have is this recursion in array list. Okay, and the first question of this module is get subsequence. So let's go through this question. You are given a string ftr. Complete the body of get ftr without changing signature to calculate all the subsequence of ftr. Use sample input to take output. Okay. So we are given a string and we have to find all the subsequence of that string. But before that, let's try to understand what exactly is a subsequence. So if we have ABC, then each character will have the choice to be present or not. So let's say first we'll have C only present, or let's say that all the characters are absent first. Okay, then C is present. Then we have a combination where B is present. Then we'll have a combination where all three A, B, C are present. Then we'll have another combination where A and C are present. We'll have another combination where A and B are present. We'll have other combinations like where only A is present, or when only B is present. So this is how we'll get all the combinations. So if you see, how many combinations will we have? Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll have 8 combinations because each character have the choice of being present or not. So, and we have 3 characters. So 2 to the power 3 gives us 8. So this is how we'll try to find the subsequence. So this is subsequence, but there is a subtle difference between a subsequence and a substring. So let's discuss what is a substring. So if we are given this um, input, and if we want to find the substrings of this, then what will be the substrings? Then a substring can be where C is present and then only C is present. Then we'll have another substring where BC is present or AB is present. AB is present. We'll have another substring where BC is present. And we'll have such combinations. So the only difference between a string, a subsequence, and a string, substring is that we cannot have such combinations where an element is absent in the middle. So we'll not have the combination AC in in the substring. And how many substrings will be formed? So for the first, we'll have for A we'll have 3 combinations, right? For B we'll have 2 combinations, and for C we'll have 1 combination, right? So let's write those combinations. So let's have A first. So A alone is present, that is 1 combination. Then A and B are present. Then A, B, C are present, that is the combination. So these are all the 3 combinations of the substring of A. Substring using the first character A. Then we come to the character C, character B, not C. So we'll have this combination for first where only B is present. Then we'll have another combination where B and C are present. Then we'll have another combination for C where only C is present, right? So this covers all the combinations that we have. And how many substrings do we have for a string? So we'll have n into n plus 1 by 2 because it's the sum of n natural numbers, right? And sum of n natural numbers is n into n plus 1 by 2. So here n is 3, so 3 times 4 by 2. So 3 times 2, it is 6. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, but we are not focusing on the substring part now, so we'll just focus on the subsequence part that we have here. So how do we solve this question? So we'll solve it using the approach that we are following for all the that we have followed for all the videos, right? So we'll have some expectation set. So the expectation is that if we have a get ss function, and if we input abc to this function, then it will generate these combinations in a array list. Okay, and let's establish some faith. So the faith that we establish is if we have get ss of, let's say, bc, then what do? Then we print all the subsequence of bc. So we assume that so let's assume that first both are absent, then b is present, then c is present, and both b and c are present. So we'll have 2 raised to 2 combinations, right? Yeah. So let's assume that we get this. So we assume that this get ssbc function, it will return us this. And now what do we have to do to go from faith to the expectations? So one thing I can see is that if you observe this carefully, let me reformat it here. So if we observe this, what we are doing here is that we are to get from faith to the expectation, we'll have to first append a and then append this underscore. Like this underscore is just for understanding purpose. Okay. So yeah, let's try to code in this part first, and then we'll go to the paint board and we'll try to figure out the base case that we have. Let me create a class called string subsequence. And let us take some input. So we'll take input as string. So we'll take next str, enter a string. Okay, so once we enter a string, we have this function called getSubsequence, public static, which returns an array list of string. Public static array list of string get ss, and we supply string to this, right? And let's return some null value for now, and we'll code in. We call this getSS function with str. Yep. So what do we have to do? We have to call this getSS with bc. So how will we get bc? So we can use the substring function and get bc, right? But before getting bc, we'll have to remove this a that we have. So we'll have to get the a first. how do we get the zeroth index? So we have ftr dot substring, not substring, subsequence, or we can have ftr dot caret 0. So this caret 0 will give us, what will it give us? It will give us the string present at zeroth index. So we call it prefix. So this will return us a character, and how do we convert a character to a string? So we just append an empty string to it. Okay. And after this, what do? We call the getSS function with str dot substring, and we have to exclude this a, and we have to call. So we'll have 0 index for this a, 1 index for b, and then 2 is for c. So if we just give str dot substring 1, then it will give us this string. Okay. If we give this, and we have to get the array list. Let's see al. And what do we have to do once we get this array list? As we discussed here, we have to first append underscore, and then we have to append the prefix that we got, right? So we iterate over the array, but first we'll have to create a new array. So not an array, an array list. So we'll call this as the result array list. Iterate over the array list, and what do? We prepend into this array list. We add into this array list. Don't prepend, we add into this array list at position I. What do we add? We add, first we will add underscores. Okay. And then once we have this, then we'll iterate over this array list again, and then we will have the prefix appended. Okay. And after this, we return this array list that we have. So yeah, let's copy this code and try to find the base case for this. Let me have this code here. And let's say we get the FTR as ABC, and let's try to analyze now. So we create a stack first. Yeah. So the first call will be like whenever the main method is executed, first we'll execute getSS of ABC. And for this, we'll find the prefix first. So prefix is E, right? And when this line is executed, like when the first line is executed, we'll have the prefix A. So let's number these. Let's say this is the first line, this is the second line, and all of this. Okay, we can consider this for loop as the third line. Okay, we can consider this as this whole as number 3. This whole iteration of two for loops is number 3. Okay, so when the first line is executed, we'll get the prefix, which is this. When the second line is executed, a recursive call is made using get ff ftr of substring 1. So ftr of substring 1 will give us get ss bc. Okay, and we'll have prefix for that, and when this is executed, we'll get the prefix as b. So we'll get the prefix when the first line is executed. When the second line is executed, again a recursive call is made. So for that, we'll have get ss bc will become c, and the prefix will be c only here, right? When the first line is executed, we get the prefix at 0th position, which is c. So this will give us that position 1, and so when the first line is executed, we get the prefix. When the second line is executed, again a recursive call is made. So this time the recursive call will be get ss bc, and we'll have an empty string here, and the prefix will also, this is where we need to find the base case, because if we again call this with ftr substring of 1, we might get an error, right? So let's try to find the base case here. So how do we define the base case? So we have to return an array left, right? Because that is what we are expecting here. So what array left do we return? So we return, so what we'll have to return the array left with the elements that are present in this string. But this string is empty. But even if the string is empty or it has the length 0, there is one element which is present which is nothing, right? We just can't have an empty array left returned. We have to return an array left which has an element which is blank. Okay, so what do we return from here? Let's see. So we return from here an array left which has nothing. We don't return an empty array left. We return an array left which has nothing, which has one string which is nothing, right? So yeah, once we return this from here, it will come down here. We come down here, then we execute the third line that we have. So if we execute the third line that we have, we get that array left here, and we prepend underscore, and then we prepend the prefix as well. So once all three lines are executed of this, we should get an array list something like this. So the return from this is, let's write it here. We'll have, once we iterate over for underscore, or we can just return an underscore here. Okay, having nothing is meaning like having an underscore, so we can return the underscore here. Yeah, so because underscore, we have just taken it for our reference for now. Okay, so let's suppose that we return an array list from here which contains one underscore. Okay, and then we iterate over it. Once we iterate over that array list, what do? We append underscores first. So we append this first. Then what do? We append for the second time. We append. Uh, we don't append. We prefix a with that. Prefix with the prefix. We'll have a underscore. No, c underscore here. And yeah, so all the three lines of this are executed. So we'll return here and we'll execute the third line. So once the third line of this is executed, we'll get result array left of this string that we have. And what does this return? So let's have whatever this returns, it is here. So this returns, so we'll first prepend with underscore. So we'll have underscore underscore underscore. Then we'll have another element called underscore c underscore, right? Yep. And so this was for this for loop. For the second for loop, we prepend prefix. So the prefix is b. So b underscore underscore comma and then b c underscore. So this is the array list that will be formed here, and once this is formed, let's return it. So this return statement will return that array list, and once it is returned, it will come to this tag. It will fall down and it will come to this tag that is present. So we get the result array list here. We get the array list here, my bad. And then we'll have the third line of this stack executed. So once the third line of this stack is executed, what do we have? We'll have something like, first we'll append prefix. First we'll append underscore, not prefix. So we'll have underscore 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 4 times. Then we'll have underscore underscore c. Then okay, so this has to be in quotes, right? Then we'll have, what do we have? Underscore b underscore underscore. Then we'll have underscore bc underscore. Yeah, so that is for the first for loop. Then we prepend the prefix. So we prepend the prefix using, so the prefix here is a. So we'll prepend a underscore 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 3 times, right? So we have 3 underscores and a. Then we'll have comma here with we'll prepend a underscore c underscore. Okay. Then we'll have a b underscore underscore. Then we'll have abc underscore. So this will be the result for the second for loop, and then we just return the array list. So let me expand this array list. Yeah, so this is the array list that will be formed, right? And then we just return it. So yeah, so where do we have the base case? So we'll have the base case where we return when the length of the string is 0. So when length is 0, we return an empty array list. So for that we'll have to first create an array list. So this underscore is representing that there is nothing. So even if the length of the string is 0, we'll have nothing present in the array left, right? So we return this array left for the base case. Okay, and once we return from here, oops, we'll s out here, right? Not there. Yep. So yeah, think this will work. Let's try to run it once. For string abc. Yeah. So if we compare this with the string that we have here, we will have the same output. If we see abc underscore, abc underscore, ab underscore underscore, ac, then we'll have a underscore underscore. Now the only thing that we have to do is that we have to replace the underscores with nothing. So this is nothing. Okay. So yeah, let's run it once again for abc, right? Yeah. So let's see. Let's try to compare the outputs of this and this. Yeah, so we are getting the expected output. The only thing missing is that, but it's fine. Like if we compare it, ABC matches with this, EB matches with this, AC matches with this. Yeah, so we have solved this get subsequence question in this video. So that's all for this video. See you guys in the next one. Thank you.